Welcome to the dressing room. Cast of Dressing Room Diaries. This is your call to stage. You have 5 minutes. Dressing Room Diaries.
Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of The Dressing Room Diaries.
A podcast for the delusional, the dramatic, the depressed, the diarists.
Diarists.
Not diarierists. Although, look, I am gluten intolerant and the anxiety belly before auditions is kind of real.
This is the type of oversharing that you signed up for.
We're actors, creatives, survivors of weekly breakdowns and very questionable self-tapes.
And we started this podcast to talk about what it's like growing up in the industry from inside the dressing room.
Today, we're going to talk about realizing how much you can achieve
through the power of doing hard things.
Let's get into it. What would you do if you got a call at 10 in the morning from a producer asking you to be on stage that evening at 7 p.m?
Oh, Lord.
Would you say yes? Would you say no? Would you say yes and not turn up? Would you throw up in your bathroom? I thought about doing all those things. This is about the time I was called by one of the lovely producers at the Kiln and asked to cover for one of the girls that had gotten injured the night before. So let's set the scene. It is 8 in the morning.
Yo, that's early.
It's early. And one of the cast members drops me a text and they're like, look, do you think you could be on stage this evening realistically? And I'm like, the nerdy part of me is like, what are you eating? Yes, please. But I'm also so nervous and scared by this proposition. What do you mean? I don't understand. He's like, well, one of the girls is injured. The producers is going to give you a call. And in that moment, I was so excited that someone had vouched for me in that way.
Oh, that's really lovely.
Yeah, this lovely actor in question is Gilbert Chem Jr., who was in A Raisin in the Sun with me, and then was in Lonely Londoners. Fantastic, fantastic show. Him and Solomon Israel had said, we know somebody that I could go on this evening. She's #funemployed. She can do it. And so I'd said yes to them. I made them send me the script that morning.
Yeah.
And then they said, okay, well, the producers will give you or your agent a call. So I'm there waiting kind of in my room, also so early. I don't usually wake up that early. There must have been something that woke me up that early to see that message.
Have you seen the show at this point as well? Did you know much of like...
I'd seen it once at press night.
Yeah.
So I'd seen it maybe a couple of weeks before.
Yeah.
And I knew the world of the play.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing it and how like bombastic and exciting and colourful and like heartfelt it was. I mean, I'd love to do a show like that.
You gotta be careful what you wish for.
I got set the girl. And so yeah, the producers gave my agent a ring. We were going back and forth. They were like, can you get there to the theatre for 2 p.m. and do a blocking of the show. So blocking is you do it for film and you do it for theatre and TV. It's where you basically walk through where you're going to be standing. And obviously it's paramount that this is done so I'm not in everyone's way. I'm not bumping into people. I know when to come off stage, when to come on stage, when to be where I need to be. So that was the main focus of our rehearsals, and also meeting the cast because bar Solomon and Gilbert, I didn't know anyone. So yeah, I go to the kebab shop next door. I get to the kebab shop for about like 10 a.m.
Yeah.
Well, no, maybe like 11 a.m. Like I'd showered, quick, fast. Go to the kebab shop for 11 a.m, sitting in there, reading through the script, like trying to cram the lines.
I could just imagine you sat there whispering,
like, literally like hunched over the table, like just doing a Jamaican accent. I said island girl things. And it was the excitement and the fear was, it's not like nothing I've ever felt before. And when I was in the commercial, I called my mom and I was like, because I just needed someone to talk to and explain how surreal all of this felt. And I called her, I was like, Mummy, and like I was about to, like I just won an Oscar, like I'd been nominated. I was like, Mummy, I need you not to stress out, like, because I'm trying to stay really calm about this, but I'm going to be on stage tonight. I was like, what? Right, Mummy, yeah. One of the producers at the Kiln called me and they asked if I could be on stage. And I said, yeah. And my mum, as loving as she is, incredibly unhelpful in this moment, well, don't mess it up.
Oh,
girl, I was so poetic. Yeah, so from then, it was just about having faith and trusting everybody around me had me and that I had me. Do you know what I mean? God had me. Like, I just had to breathe and not stress and do what I could do. And of course, there are things that, as an actor, like, you want to do to prepare. You want to have your 4 weeks of theatre rehearsals. You want to be off book. Yeah. You want to make sure that the accent is down, not only perfect for the region, but also you've created a voice for the character. You want to, you know, even the more like shallow things, you want those armpits shaved. You want to feel like you can, you know, I do. I don't feel like you can raise my armpits on stage. I feel like, sorry guys, I just got here. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, there's so many things that usually I'd love to have that sense of control over, but all of this was about like just submitting to the flow of it.
Oh wow!
And it was such an important faith and trust exercise of like, this is in its own way a really hard thing to do. I'm not getting on stage with a character with all this preparation to hide behind. I'm getting on stage as me, and I'm just having to trust that that's enough and that everyone on stage is going to have my back. I can flow with them. I can connect with them. Yeah. And in that way, like, it was also a great use of like Meisner and like that flow of like, you're doing this. How does that make me feel? I'm doing this. How does that make you have to listen? In a way, I think that like preparation can sometimes make you forget. Yeah. And this is not me saying don't do all the work and the units and the beats and blah, 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 because, you know, I'm a nerd and that stuff. But it was both challenging and really beautiful and necessary at that point in my career to know that like, oh, me being here, me doing it is enough. And I felt so emotional. And also, it was on Valentine's Day. Aww. And I thought, like, what a beautiful thing. Like, what a, you know.
To celebrate yourself
celebrate myself and the thing that I love so much, acting on that day. It was really beautiful. I'm so grateful for it. I'm so grateful that the cast vouched me as well. And they thought, we know somebody that could do this and could rise to this challenge.
That's a testament for, like, all the hard work that you've done, but to also being such a great person to work with. I think it's really important for each and every one of us to think about it that way, that like, you know, we're impacting people as, you know, work aside, how are you in the room? You know, we're all responsible for the type of energy that we bring. And if people are drawn to that energy or people are just happy to be in your, you know, atmosphere, that they'll never forget about you and they can rely on you. Like, are you a reliable person? And like, you could get that call. But yeah, that's a gorgeous blessing and testimony. Yeah.
Thanks, girl. And you're so right. Like, I think sometimes, especially when you finish a theatre show, there's something so beautiful about how ephemeral theatre is, in that you do it and it's done. It doesn't exist anymore. Yeah, unless you're doing like you're in an NT live situation, and you know, like the only thing that kind of exists are these like oral retellings of the show.
Oh yeah,
and so that feels really freeing as an actor. It's like, oh, I can give everything and just that be it. Yeah. You know, there isn't any like paper trail. There's no like, that's just it. Like that performance was it and I could live in it. But I think that can also feel kind of difficult. Because you're like, wow, I put all of this time and energy into doing the show and I gave so much of myself and I felt really proud of it and people were telling me it was great and they connected with it, and then nothing comes of it, you know? And you have your then like fun employed moment for a couple of months where you're like, oh, okay, I guess people didn't love it as much as they say they did. And of course, that's not the case. It's just the way it feels to be self-employed. It's like kind of, although you get used to it, it's kind of the cycle of you're really busy and then you're not. And it feels like everyone's forgotten that like busy period. And you're kind of still living in that, like, remember when I did that? No.
back in my day.
And so having that reminder of, oh, like actually like on a human level, you've connected with people and your life has changed because you've met these people and you've in some way changed theirs.
Yeah.
It was so like, oh wow, like I've met people I really love on this show, or really love me, and that was part of the thing.
That's gorgeous.
Yeah. So very, very, very grateful for it. But it was a great lesson, and I think as well, like in terms of when I think about fear or anxiety on stage, now it does become the thing that my mind goes to like kind of silence the more like illogical fears of like, oh, I'm scared to like do something that I've rehearsed like 4 weeks for and I actually feel really good about.
Right.
Whereas on that day I had like 6 hours.
That's insane.
Like, yeah.
The idea gives me so much anxiety. You just like walking me through it. But the muscle and the power that you leave with it, like I think about auditions and how you only have a few minutes to just show them your rendition of the script or the character that they've given you. And it's that like, you are enough. You trust that you're enough. If you've done the work, that's great. Like, you know, you've got that back. But if you didn't have time, you are still enough. And yeah, I mean, we could all learn from that and learn that like actually the fear is in the mind. And, you know, whatever scary things, it doesn't even have to be like to do with theatre or performing. Like everyone goes through scary things in their life. And I mean, like if you have overcome that, you can overcome anything.
Yeah. And it's like Daniel Kaluuya talks about in Judas and the Black Messiah.
Yeah, what is this?
How if he's not scared of a script or he doesn't feel challenged, he knows that's not going to be his best work.
Oh, okay.
And so I think there's also something about like,
that's true though.
Yeah. Doing the hard thing.
Olympics with yourself.
Yes.
I get that. I understand that.
Like
I like that.
Yeah. When he spoke about that, like because of course, like you don't, especially as an actor or like as an artist and as somebody whose favorite film is Black Swan, I think that says a lot about who I am as a person. Yeah. Like that sense of like needing yourself to be perfect and needing yourself to be finished. Like, where's the vulnerability in that? Where is the truth in that? And when we think about like our favorite pieces of theatre and even we spoke about last week of Viola Davis and like the snot crying and like Fences, like she gets in it.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
And that isn't coming from a place of like being scared of like being perfect.
No.
Yeah. Like of needing to be perfect. Like I don't think you could get to the underbelly of humanity in that way. Yeah. I think it is like challenging yourself to do the hard thing and to be as honest and as open as you can be. Yeah.
I love that. Yes. No, I totally agree.
Is there a time that you felt unprepared but it's learned to like a strong lesson about what you can do and can get through?
Yeah, I had. No, do you know what? My first ever job out of drama school was a Christmas gig. I was so excited about it, but like in this job I had to sing. Now if anyone who knows me knows that singing terrifies me.
She's very good at it though.
Oh, but like that was the thing. It's like, you know, in terms, I'm no musical theatre artist, I learned how to sing, like to act through song. And I'm so jealous of like actors who can connect to music and voice and still tell the story in an amazing way. And I think coming out of drama school, I still left with this fear. Now, I don't know where this fear came from, because actually I did Stagecoach, and there was one time I sang a solo, and I felt amazing. I did a belt, everything, and I felt incredibly amazing and cool. And then the period between that and then drama school, I don't know what happened to me, but the voice shrank. So when it came to drama school, I would sing and I would cry every time. I had a gorgeous singing teacher called Pam, and I could just see it in her eyes that like either she could sense that there was something holding me back, or she just believed in me so much that she'd just keep trying with me and really encouraging me. But I'd be really emotional. I'd be really, really sad about it, and I didn't know where this muting would come from. I'd hide behind this small voice. So I get my first job, and I doing it outside as well. So I'm like, it's outside, it's dark, it's cold. We're singing like Christmas songs, but not really. I'm battling with the elements. So it's like, I'm on top of that, I'm thinking about like what the cold is doing to my voice and all that kind of stuff. But I remember like doing it. I don't remember doing anything. I blacked out. But like what I do remember is just having to just go for it. And just, use my chest voice and just go for it, and it would sound all right, you know what I mean? And I'd be like, I got through that song, now I can enjoy the rest of the play with the acting element of it, do you know what I mean? And I don't know how my confidence has been since it. I failed to remind myself that I've done it, which is something I just need to work on. But now I know that I've carried myself and a show with my voice. We're talking maybe 2 or 3 songs, and then like a song that we sing, like, there's 2 of us singing it. It's so important for me to keep hold of that and to remember that I can do that. And I'm really proud of myself. We did prepare. We had like someone, teaching us the songs, going through all the notes. I remember I really struggled during that as well, because they wanted me to sing notes that I have never heard of in my life. I don't know where I was going to pull those notes from, but we got the help. I felt prepared, but still so far back and underprepared. It was insane. So yeah, it came to the nights. I remember the first one shaking. Like once I just get through the song, and then we can enjoy the rest of the play. I'm hearing the backing track go, and I'm like, okay, 3, 2, 1, and I had to just jump into it, go for it. It wasn't a shout, but it almost felt like the energy of just shouting. And I somehow survived that, and it was all right. It was good. Like, do you know what I mean? And, I played a kid as well. So, kids don't have the best range. But I was leaning into that, and I could lean into that, and I could just have fun with it. And it got to like maybe like the 10th show, and I was like, oh, well, this is easy. I'm doing it. So it was just trusting that like the work was done, trusting myself to take the leap, to not feel too self-conscious, because that's really difficult. I had to like, if it helps to black out, then black out. But like, eventually I got there, and the confidence came, and I got the confidence enough to finish the run. I'm still working on my confidence when it comes to singing. I go to singing lessons, singing with Ollie. He's incredible. He's amazing. He's been helping me. I feel stronger and better. And it's a weird thing that a lot of people don't talk about. It's like, I don't know, it is a really vulnerable thing to say. But we're working on it. And although I felt unprepared in that aspect, and I still feel unprepared. Like, if you gave me a score of something, I don't know if I'll be able to give you what you're wanting. But now I know to just sort of lead with that energy of a shout, of a power stance energy, to just go for it. Like, what were those Laban efforts? A slash. Go with the energy, punch or whatever. And if it sounds nasty, that's fine, but that's where I'm starting, and I'm starting strong. I guess that was my story about feeling underprepared, I think.
Yeah. I think it's really interesting. I think especially with like singing, because I feel like the same way when it comes to like my sense of like, I do not, every time I have to sing for an audition, like when I get a music, and I know my agent is sick and tired of me because she'll send me something through like a musical theatre audition. I'm like, please, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it.
And that's scary to me because you have a gorgeous voice as well, and it's really strong. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you're feeling these things too,
it's a weird thing. I think it is just like how vulnerable it feels, and also that sense of like needing or wanting to have vocal perfection.
Oh yeah.
And I think listening to like, not that like listening to pop music or like cast recordings has ruined anything at all, but I think because we're hearing like processed, and like they should be like, you know, but processed, compressed, auto-tuned songs, we're expecting our voices to come out and sound that way. Exactly. And it's like, well, realistically, I'm recording on an iPhone 11 in a flat that moves when it's too windy. Like, it's gonna sound tinny, you know, and like listening back and be like, okay, why am I not hearing Mariah Carey right now? Like,
do you remember when you were younger? Did you ever try to like test if you can sing on your phone?
Yes.
And then you put like hit the record and you and you're like, there's an angel when you always like hero when you look inside yourself, you play it back. That's it. I'm done.
Cut the show.
Cut the show. I'm done.
It's so interesting. It's so, but then also like sometimes, like when I'm singing alone, like or when like like I'm like putting the karaoke on my laptop and I'm singing, and I like move myself. I'm like, okay, yeah, like I can sing, like okay, but then as soon as it feels like, oh, now this is for a panel, this is for someone else, I get so frightened. I get so scared. And I think it is this like, I think it's good. In a lot of ways, it's good to know that at our point in our careers, obviously we're very early on in our careers, babies. Yeah. We're very early on in our careers, but we've done a lot, like, and we have experienced really great opportunities. We're really blessed for, and it's like even at this point in our career, and I'm sure in 30, 40 years that we're still gonna have some things where like, okay, I still don't feel like super confident like in this, and that's not like unique to us. That's not anything to be ashamed of. There's not anything to feel like frightened by, or like maybe this isn't for me then or whatever. Like I think it's a really universal experience for every industry, and it's because we care. You know, we want to do good. We want to transform. We want to tell stories. Like we want to connect with people. We want to move people. We want to inspire. And like sometimes I think the onus of all of that can feel like heavy, and that then in our own mind like translates to like fear of not representing well enough, or not being perfect enough, and not doing great by everyone. And I think there comes a certain point where, and whether it be in rehearsals, and I think it does happen naturally, or sometimes it happens later on in the show, where you have to let go of wanting to be perfect for other people.
A bit of ego as well.
And I think ego is so funny because like often when people talk about ego, there is this assumption that it's like, I think I'm the best at everything. You know, like pride is like, I'm the best in the room, blah, blah, blah. I think ego and pride can also be like being unnecessarily self-deprecating and being worried about not being, you know, because it's still, you know,
rejection of yourself.
Oh, let's get into some questions.
All right. Well, thank you so much for sending in your questions.
Yes, we're very excited to answer them. We've got a mix of some that are more following today's theme, and then we've got some questions that are a little bit more tea. So let's get into it.
Shall I start? Okay. How can I trust that all the work I've done is there?
Ooh. That's a good question.
We got to. You just you have to. Yeah. You just got to trust that. Like, it's interesting because I think, you know, when going into like studying a drama school, they talk about you need to do the work, and then you need to leave it behind, and then you need to free yourself of the work, and then just do it, right? I actually physically can't I can't tell you what that looks like. Do you know what I mean? But then I felt like maybe after 3 or 2 weeks of performing is when I can generally feel that I have done the work and I've left it behind. When you see a version of your character that's kind of slightly different to the one that you started off with in the beginning, kind of like, you know, when you're riding a bike, you have the training wheels. Whatever method you used, whether it's the type of way you learnt the lines or like, you know, working with someone or the directors put you through some exercises, or if you've done your own kind of work at home, if that's highlighting and analyzing the words, I kind of look at them as training wheels. Yeah. And then you've got to take them off and you got to go and fly. And I've only ever felt like the work has really been solid after a period of time. Yeah. Once we start performing. Yeah. When you play and you change, but you still feel integral to that character, like things still feel like that character, but when you're still discovering, but you still feel like that character, like, I think that's when you can trust that you've done it. Yeah. I mean, it takes the process to discover that, I think.
It's part of the process for sure. Yeah. I mean, that's why we have previews and theatre, right? Is that you need that like week or so to just relax into being in the space, trusting that the work that you've done is there. There were obviously like on a technical level, like things that one can do, like in terms of like Demidov talks about like expelling everything and just like taking as long as you need to release everything and like completely clear your mind. But that can be scary, you know, like, okay, well, what happens when I've cleared my mind kind of thing? Yeah. Like, will I forget all my lines? But that can be the lock up. Yeah. So I think it's just like like faith is a muscle in that way. And I think you just have to trust and trust and trust and work hard at trusting over and over again until it kind of becomes the thing that is instinctual. Also like taking the focus off of yourself. Yeah. You can do all the work that you can do. True. But at the end of the day, if you get on stage and the performance is completely about you and what you're doing and all the choices you're making, it's going to look really disjointed. And you're not going to look, because you won't be, you're not going to look connected to anybody else on stage. So part of that, like, I think it's easier to be less self-conscious and less anxious about your performance when you're putting your focus and energy on everybody else around you and what they're doing. And it will allow you to surprise yourself and find new character things. And also I think it's like there is the joy and the excitement of when you start feeling those like character thoughts. And when you're when you're like week 2 into around week 3 and you're like, wow, like I'm really like just feeling so much freedom and autonomy within the character. Think of that, like that getting to that point and how exciting that is. Like when you've moved through that fear, that's a really exciting place to be in.
And it's no longer about work now. It kind of is about experiencing at that point, isn't it? Like that's a beautiful spot to be in. And I think that, like, I mean, as humans, we're so unpredictable. I can't tell you what Josephine's going to do in the next second. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, she surprises me. Yeah. Like, and then that's when I react and things are hilarious. Like, and I think that, like, experiencing that and allowing yourself to experience, you'll enjoy it a lot more. And that, like what you're saying is like, surprise yourself.
Yeah, definitely. I think so too.
I love that.
I love it. Thank you for sending that through. That's a really great question. Let me see this one. I got a role my friend really wanted, and I can tell she's being icy with me. What do I do?
Ooh. I see.
Okay.
You sound jealous. I mean, she sounds jealous. I get, yeah. That's a tough one. Like, in terms of what can you do, right? These things happen. And it's annoying when it involves friendships, right? But it's not personal. I'm sure, like, you know, I don't know if that's just the question is like, there's nothing about the text project or no, she got or she didn't. No, this is a drama school question. Yeah, it's like, okay, so yeah, her time will come. Like, there's nothing you can actually do about that. Like, you love your friends, so just continue with the love. Yeah. Like,
I think all you can do is like have a conversation. Yeah. And also, like, I guess not be mindful in a way that you have to like shrink yourself, but I guess like maybe, yeah, make sure you're having a conversation. And also, like, iciness, like, that's obviously a perception of behavior, but have you taken time to unpack it? Because then she might be like, you know, if you have a conversation, she might be like, I'm sorry, like, I've been finding this really hard. And I've been feeling really guilty because I am happy for you, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? But you won't know that until you've had that conversation. And I know it's hard because, like, no one wants to be having difficult conversations. So that's not something as a human being you're like, oh, I'm excited to be in an uncomfortable position. Nobody wants that. But I think for all relationships, like friendships, you know, romantic relationships, sisters, brothers, you know, whatever. Yeah. Honesty and communication is something that should be like kind of central to all of your communication, and also being ready for the perspective that she has. Like, you might not love what she has to hear, but I think holding space for it and allowing it to pass through the relationship as opposed to letting it like fester and rot the friendship from like the inside out, especially for something like in the grand scheme of life so infinitesimal. It really is it's small. It's small. Like, it's not worth it's not festing for too long. No. Like, and of course there are going to be times where you're like, oh, I don't want that, you know. But yeah, you just have to move through it. And I'm sure there will come a point in your friendship where you feel that way, like with the shoes on the other foot. So yeah, I think also thinking about like the grace that you would want her to give you if practice your shared language, I think, as well. Even if it's like, hey, you've done nothing wrong, but maybe a peace offering of a snack she likes to start that conversation. Practice your shared language, whether it's sending each other memes and stuff like that. Like, try to keep, you know, your communication going, and then start from there. I think that's really good. Yeah. And also don't like lose sight of the excitement and experience that you're having, because it's a great one. If you really wanted that job or the role, congratulations. Yeah. And you've got like you said earlier, don't shrink yourself as well. Take that opportunity. With grace. Because hey, to answer your question, thanks for sending that through. Okay. It sounds silly to say this. After all the years of work that I've done, I graduated in 2020. Okay. But I'm struggling with stage fright. Do you girls have any tips? This is jokes, because listen, you're an actor, right? So you're not supposed to be afraid of stage fright. That needs to get in the bin. Yeah. I experience stage fright a lot. Yeah. And the anxiety. Yeah. And this is my 4th year in professional work. Like, it's insane. I mean, I think in terms of tips, right? Well, earlier we talked about like remembering the scary things you've already done. Yes. Maybe hone into that. Like, you've done that before, you can get through it, right? But maybe it's hard in the moment, especially in the first night. Yeah. You jump out and it's really scary. Maybe talking about like going in with the energy of a shout, or a slash, and starting from there. Yeah. Starting bold, and allowing yourself to sort of melt and relax into it. Because you know, after the
for third, second, fourth, fifth, whatever, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
The first initial jump is the scariest. So just to remember that you can do it. It's really, I mean, I don't want to take away from the fear, but that being said, also the fear itself could be the weapon against you when actually you know what you've doing, you've done the work, you've done this before, and just accepting that it's okay to be afraid, to just like, and use that energy to propel you to the next step. That's probably a tip of my.
I completely agree. And also, like, for me, my stage fright gets so bad on press nights. Like, I always have incredible stage fright then, because then you like have this like existential like fear of like how the show is going to be received and the next job and blah blah blah. I think, but for me, what really helps is living in the moment of like, okay, I'm doing this show. It's the same show that I've been doing. It's the same prep that I've been doing, and like just talking yourself like logically, and also saying to fear, like verbalizing it, be like, okay, fear, you're not helpful for me right now. Like, I'm going to work. I'm going to do the best that I can. And then we can talk after the show.
Period.
Like, that is often what I say to myself. Like, I'm working right now. We'll return to this. I'm going to put a pin in this conversation and we'll come back. Like having something that like, that amps me up, but also that grounds my spirit in some way.
That's nice.
I think that really helps with stage fright.
Tapping. I don't know if you know much about that, but the tapping is really helpful. Stretching. When your body feels ready, your mind can go wherever, but when the body is quite grounded, settled, stretched, and ready, it can really help you prepare to like take the light.
I think invest in your piece in any way that you feel like you can.
And Cynthia Erivo, didn't she say, she was like, did I say her surname right?
Yeah.
I think so. But like, there was this one interview, she said, she was like, I don't remember, don't quote me on this, but like, she will ask of the things that she needs. And she says, I need these things in order to do my best work. And it might sound delicious but it's not being, because it's like any other job, you might need a pen, you might need a laptop, you might need this. If I ask for these specific things, then I could do the best job before you. And I'm like, we can all take that and be like, you know what, like, if it is that like dressing room, if you can, because it helps you, then why not ask for it?
I think we're in the business of emotion. You have to feel vulnerable and you have to feel safe to feel vulnerable. So if there is something that is going to help you get there, then great, ask for it. And if you can't have it, that's also fine. Like, don't throw a tantrum and like, start shouting at people. So I think, there are many a small way to challenge yourself and like stretch into the things that give you like stage fright, I think. So yeah, put yourself out there, try something else, and
then something scarier maybe. And then go on stage.
Exactly. Then you'll be like, I can do anything. Yeah, I can do hard things. Okay. I've got. This is our last question for today. Okay. And it's a juicy one. It is. Okay. Me and my partner are in different final year shows for our first term. Exciting. Aww. Final year. We're both in the plays we wanted to be in. Okay, love that. But he has an intimate scene with someone in the year I don't get on with. I can't tell how he feels about things, but it doesn't feel good for me. What should I do? Yikes. No, joking.
Sucks to be you. No, joking.
No.
Damn. Oh, girl. I'm assuming it's a girl, but
yeah, I think so.
I think his partner.
Yeah.
Okay, apologize. Listen. This is the business, isn't it? Scarily enough, this be happening. Like, oh, and you don't feel good about the person.
Yeah.
You don't like the person.
There are levels to this.
Ooh.
It's hard. It's hard. I think if you've done a romantic scene before, having done romantic scenes, it doesn't feel like anything.
Yeah.
It really does. Like, it's all, and which is really good. I'm very glad, because it means that it's safe for everybody.
And it's beautiful that you're in this relationship, because when you do the romantic scenes, your relationship actually grounds you into to like knowing that like these can just be like, I don't know, you go into it, you kind of like, ew, or like you go into it, you're like, oh, I've got to do this again. Like, do you know what I mean?
And it's very like, you know, you'll have intimacy coordinators, like, and it's very choreographed, and it becomes like a dance. I hope so. If not, then that's also a good conversation to have, because that should, at this point, be an industry norm. I know it's not always, but I think for the safety of everybody, for the comfort of everybody involved, there should be intimacy coordinators. There should be conversations around boundaries, what people are comfortable around, so things don't get blurred.
And that can help you mentally to know that like this thing is choreographed. It is a dance. Like everything is kind of, not to take the magic away, but it's scripted. So you can believe you can truly settle into the thoughts that like, you know, there's no like feeling in there or improving, and things are just happening in the other room. That all this is scripted and is choreographed.
Because also at the end of the day, improv in that context would be inappropriate. So I think it's also having that conversation. I know you said that you're not sure how your partner feels. Have that conversation. You need to like sit down and say like, how are you feeling about this? Because you don't know how, you can't assume either way. Obviously not liking the other person, that does add a bit of a spanner into the works. But I think it's just about that level of understanding there's a level of professionalism that is there and has to be there. The communication is there, and having a conversation around an intimacy coordinator, because I strongly believe, and I think that most actors would, that there should always be an intimacy coordinator involved, and they will be there in some shape or form throughout the process,
so you know it's professional. Definitely conversation with your partner. Maybe even like an expression of like your issue with this person as well. Like, don't make them feel uncomfortable, because obviously they're in a position that they can't do anything about. They've not asked. So like, you know, any feelings of anger and stuff, like you will have to try your best to filter that, not filter, what's the right word, to process that, and not project that. But it will only be for a certain amount of time. I can't imagine it, do you know what I mean? And trust that your partner loves you, and that like, you know, there might be a time where you have to do the same. So reminding yourself of how you move through this particular hard moment can also propel and give him grace or them grace, so that you also get that the same. You know, the tables turn and it's your time as well.
I think it's also why, as an actor, it is important to have these conversations earlier on, like in the relationship of like, and like setting, like, just not being afraid to have that conversation. I think it can be kind of scary in the beginning to talk about it, because you're like, you want to keep your person and you're kind of scared of what they'll say or whatever. But I think these conversations are really necessary. Even Olivia Colman spoke about it like this, like recently, like probably within like last 24, 48 hours. Saw on IMDb, about her like feeling like intimate scenes she struggles with. I haven't read the whole article, so I've literally just read the abridged thing, so sorry if this is misinformation, but how she struggles with it because she feels like she's being unfaithful to her husband. And so it's like, also, it's fine if your relationship with intimate scenes changes throughout your career. Obviously this is a different thing because it's a final year show, but if it were you, for example, or if your partner is like, actually, I don't feel comfortable doing that scene, I just want to reaffirm, like, you can say no. Like, you don't have to.
You don't have to you can say no.
Yeah, and say no. Like, there are workarounds. And I think it's not being afraid of like losing a job or losing because you want to say yes to everything, because where is the protection of self in that? But yeah, I do appreciate and understand that that's emotionally a difficult situation to be in. But as you said, like, process without projecting. And don't shut down communication and your partner's space to feel things.
Talk to your friends. I mean, they're a great place to vent as well. If it is about that person or talk to your friends, I'm sure there'll be like amazing support systems in that. And then also propel yourself into your project. Like, you might not have any intimate scenes. Like, maybe it'd be easier if you had them too. But listen, like, you're also experiencing something exciting, so really try your best to enjoy that and try not to think about what's going on in the other room. Like, when it comes to the show and tell part of it, you're gonna have a great time supporting your partner and just be proud of them, because you only get to watch it once. Look away if you have to. Come here, anything. But like, it's a fleeting moment, and so is yours. So enjoy yours as well.
And especially with third year, like, I think you spend so much of third year worrying. It's such a fun year and it's such a full year. Don't waste third year like panicking and worrying about just trying to experience it all, because it's about you. Third year is about you. And I think that's the thing that, like, you don't kind of get told, because you're so focused on pleasing other people, or like it being your like first proper public shows or agents, and am I going to be this, am I going to be enough, and blah, blah, blah. Third year is about you, and I think it's about finding, after receiving all the information you have for the last 2 years, it's now about carving out the artist that you want to be and the work that you want to do, and how pragmatically you can do that best. Which agent is best to sign to, like, for you, instead of it being like, I need to be this for this person. I think it can be really easy to kind of get lost in thinking during third year. So just pour into self and focus on your project, and that doesn't mean like stop pouring into your relationships, because they're also part of you. But just enjoy third year. It's a really exciting time. Thank you for sending those questions through. These will be really, really great questions. So thank you guys.
Thank you so much for tuning in. Please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe.
And if you want to send any questions or dilemmas through, remember to drop them down in our email below. But before we go, I've got nuts for you. Okay. My note to you this week is to sow the seeds of your future self by doing hard things.
That's a good one. Good one. Okay. My note to you this week is to remind yourself that you are enough and highly blessed and qualified.
Amen. Thank you, girl. Bye.
Dressing Room Diaries.